welcome back to another CS2 video. In this one we are going to take a look at the most known utility on Mirage. Now here is the deal, you can have the best aim in the server, but without utility you're throwing rounds for free. Even higher levels like Faceit level 9, 10 or even higher elo rely on those exact lineups that I'm about to show you. The difference is by that point they already know them. But if you're around level 4, 5 or 6 or even little higher, I can pretty much guarantee that if you start using these smokes that I'm about to show you, flashes and mollies, you will level up at least 1 or 2 ranks in a very short time. We are gonna keep this simple, effective and straight to the point. In this 15 minutes video, I'm gonna make sure to include only the most important utilities that you will need to learn. Alright, so let's start with the T-side first. These are the smokes that every terrorist needs to know. The most important one by far is the insta smoke for window. Without it, it's very difficult to control the mid, and mid in Mirage it's very important to have it. Now there are 6 different spawns that you can get, and each of it has its own way to throw it, of course. My suggestion is to take this map, it helps you a lot. It's one of the best for learning the Mirage utility. I will be showing you a couple of the standard lineups from this map and also some small variation that I personally use, and I will explain why I think they are better. So as you can see here, every spawn has its own spot you line up from. At first it might look overwhelming, but if you practice each one just a few times, you will see how easy it actually is to remember. And here's a tip on this map, you can enable the random spawn option. That way you will spawn in different position every round, just like in real match. It forces you to think fast and remember the lineup and throw the smokes right away. After a few sessions like this, it will start to feel very easy and you will remember, I would say, most of the times. Mastering this window smokes will make your mid control so much stronger and will stop you from losing rounds before they even begin. So pay attention, because this is one of the biggest tools that will separate you from the average Faceit player. Now let's move on the default window smoke. The insta smokes are always better since they are much faster and give the CT less time to peek mid. But in case you don't have the right spawn or maybe you just forgot the lineup, the default smoke it's always better than nothing. All you have to do is come into that corner right there and hold D plus jump throw. By the way, if you don't already have a jump throw bind set up, I already have a video for it. I will leave the link in the description, and in that video shows exactly how to set it up, and it's very short and clear. Alright, now let's look at smoking top mid. The smoke is great because it lets you cross safely behind the boxes and take more control of mid without being exposed that much. Like you can see here, you can cross very safe, unless they spam the smoke or sometimes they do nades. Sometimes you might find yourself stuck around top mid, maybe after a failed smoke or maybe it's a slow round. In that case, there is also a way to throw a window smoke and a short smoke from behind the boxes. It's perfect for when you're trapped and you need to block vision to reposition, I guess. And now let's head back to T-spawn. From this default position you can throw a connector smoke. This one is key for splitting A or just denying mid control. Learning this lineup is very important because connector is such a common angle for CTs to peek or push. If you do this smoke all the time, it opens up the map for your team. Now it's time to look how to execute into A site. In this practice map, there is a bunch of different lineups you can use for the standard A smokes, but personally, I like to use a slightly different version because it lets me throw all 3 key smokes from the exact same position. Usually I will just ask 2 teammates to drop me their smoke and then I can set this up really quick. With this version, you can smoke off jungle, stairs and CT all by yourself in just few seconds. It completely shuts down vision from CTs, and most of the time it gives your team a free path into site. Honestly, this is one of the strongest strats we run, and we end up winning the runs most of the times. But smokes alone aren't enough. That's why the lamp flash is so important. Right after the smokes, I throw this flash over the lamp, and as you will see in a second, it blinds almost every single common position on A side. It makes it so much easier for your teammates to explode out of the ramp or palace without getting shot. Let me show you a quick test of this flash against all of the main position on A side. You will see really how effective this flash is. If you add this flash to your execute, it takes a good strat and makes it almost impossible for your enemy to stop your team. I also gonna show you one Molly lineup for sandwich. I'm gonna be honest, this is not very important, but if you get some info that an enemy has already crossed into sandwich, you can throw this Molly to force them out. Even though it's not a must-know for every round, it's a good tool to have in your utility arsenal, I would call it, especially if you're trying to climb those Faceit levels and want every edge possible. Now let's talk about one very important molly from Palace. Everyone knows the shadow spot, or some people like to call it under Palace. It's a classic CT position and can be really annoying to deal with during an A execute. The good news is with this molly you don't have to worry about it anymore. It flushes out any CT holding shadow or forcing them to move or take damage. Now it's time to cover the B side execute. Just like on the A side, there is several different lineup position you can use for B smokes, but personally I have one setup that I use most of the time because it's simple and very effective, and the idea is same as on A. From one single spot you can throw 3 smokes to completely isolate the site. This blocks off most common CT position, giving your team a much safer push and increasing the chances of taking control of the site quickly. Just make sure to follow the lineup like I did and you will be very good. Here the smoke on short already went, but it should be like this. And of course there is no B side execute without using this flash. This is very important flash. This flash is crucial because it blinds every single position from CTs. Whenever someone is holding backside or platform, or it doesn't really matter, they will be blind. This flash gives your teammate a huge advantage to push in safely, but also timing is key. Throw the flash right after the smokes land and your teammates can move in without worrying about being shot really. Like you can see, this flash blinds every single position almost. Unless it's deep short, but if it's deep short, there should be a smoke in it, so you will be good. There is also an extra flash you can use on B side, and this one is mainly for the player who is going in first. So if you're the entry, make sure to throw this flash right before you push. It helps blind any CT holding closing angles and makes your first step onto the site much safer. If you combine this flash with the one we just covered, this extra one gives your team maximum control over Faceit. Now that we covered all the key T-side utilities, it's time to move on to the CT side. CT utility on Mirage isn't as complicated as on T-side. There aren't as many insta smokes, but there are still some very effective lineups that can give you a big advantage in rounds. Let's start with Shadow. From here you can throw a smoke directly into a palace. This is really useful if you're stuck in Shadow and don't want to expose yourself to ramp or palace. It completely blocks vision for anyone peeking, giving you control and safety. While you're in Shadow, there is also a very important flash that you can throw for a ramp player. This flash blinds anyone holding ramp, allowing you to peek safely or support your teammates without taking unnecessary risks. There is also another very important flash that every CT should know, and this one is especially useful for retaking a site. The great thing about this flash is that you can set it up for yourself, so you don't need your teammate to throw it for you. And when it pops, it blinds almost every single common spot on a site, such as the ramp, palace, stairs, or even connector. This flash gives you a huge advantage when pushing back into the site because it forces the T-sided players from their position. Now let's take a look at really useful molly that you can throw from jungle. You will often find yourself stuck in jungle when the T's are executing into A site. In those situations, this molly can be a very good thing to use. So from jungle you can molly ramp or Tetris, and it forces the T players to make a tough decision. They either can swing into the open and fight or go back into ramp. Either way, it buys your team more time to rotate and set up their position. And now here is a must-know grenade for every window player. With this nade you can actually pop the smoke that T's throw for mid control. It gives you a few seconds vision into mid, and the best part is that you won't take any damage from the nade that you just threw. This little trick is so strong that I have seen even pro players use it in big tournaments. Having those extra seconds of vision can completely shut down the T's mid control and give your team a huge advantage early in the round. Like you can see, the nade goes in the middle of the wall there and you won't be taking any damage even if you stay close to it. There is another way to do this grenade, but personally I don't prefer this because sometimes you might be taking a lot of damage and probably it's not helpful. So the other one, it's way better, I would suggest. Also, if you ever find yourself in CT and your teammates ask to smoke palace or something, you can do it from here. You can do palace and ramp like you can see in this setup. So this might be useful too, and after of course you can go help your teammate fight. And that's it. These are the most known Mirage utility lineups that every Faceit player should know about. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more CS2 content, and make sure to check the description for the quick jump throw bind. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.